Right, good morning, everyone. Just before I start, this weekend it's been very busy for the church. We've had Friday curry night. Those who were there, lots of curry, lots of games and everything. We had Saturday, the men's breakfast, sausage and bacon sandwiches. And then the ladies' meeting in the afternoon, cakes and chatting or whatever they do. I really wish I'd been there. And then, of course, today. So can we just give a round of applause for everybody who did the cooking and everything got involved in it. So, as most of you will know, this is my home church, and I always look forward to a Sunday, especially when my friend David Miller is speaking, because it means I get another half hour's sleep. So, this morning, David, it's your turn for a little kip. Okay, so off you go, no snoring though. Right, so this morning we brought some of the lads, as you can see, and lasses from Shield of Faith Motorcycle Ministry, and that's our logo there. At the end, after I've finished, Tony's going to have a few words, but we can also have some questions. Like I say, there's our stall at the back there, our display. So I'm called Metz, says on one side or the other, because you'll know me as John, Mary's John, or other words, maybe names, I don't really know, because you probably haven't told me, but in the biker community I'm called Metz, because there's quite a lot of Johns. I was going to say it's a common name, but obviously not common, it's a popular name. And people have some wacky names. We have one guy I met once, and he was called Big Kawasaki Dave. But the thing is, he wasn't big, didn't have a Kawasaki, and he wasn't called Dave. There's one of our chaps here, over there. Do you want to stand up? And that's Tiny. So quite often there's other names going on. So who are we? So Shield of Faith, where's my buzzer? I won't mind, I went through the course this morning, didn't I, Julie? And I've got it wrong already. So we Shield of Faith, or SOFM for short. We used to be part of a large Christian motorcycle organisation, but the whole branch resigned. We felt that the organisation had one purpose, and that purpose wasn't serving God. A few branches did leave as well. I think that sometimes happens with big groups that tend to go away from wherever they were originally. So we are classed as a small charity. No, Julie, got it wrong already. Yeah, I did, yeah, I got it right. Yeah, to the right. So that's what we are. So this is what we do. We're self-governed. We're our own individual group. There's no other groups, same as us. We do have a sister group in Scotland, which is very similar. Propagate the Christian gospel, provide motorcyclists and others with teaching in the Christian faith as revealed by the Bible, provide a fellowship for its members and others, support the motorcycle community, and support the community in general. So, Lenin. So who are we? So slide 3 there. That's some of our members on a ride out. We are about 25 strong, so that's not all of us there. Some of whom are here this morning. Members mainly from Pocklington, Beverley, Hull, Driffield, Scunthorpe, and we have a guy from Leeds. I think some of you have met Jimmy, sometimes comes with his 2 girls on a Sunday, all the way from Leeds. And he does say he wished he could be local enough to come to this church every week. So we have 3 levels of membership. We have friends, or perhaps in the biker community they're called hangers-on or hang-arounds. So we'll call them friends today. So they don't pay a membership fee, they don't wear a vest or all our logos, they can attend ride-outs, we have socials, etc., but they don't attend the AGM. It's hoped that the more time they spend with us, they will ask questions, and they could stay at this stage for usually about a year while we get to know them. They might stay permanently if they don't want to move on through the group. That is entirely up to them. And then we have a support. So not necessarily Christians or have a motorbike, but interested in what we do, preferably interested in bikes, because that tends to be a lot of our conversations, as you can imagine. Mary there has listened to my conversation once or twice. Show commitment to the group, and if we're happy that they fit in, they're all voted in at a meeting, and there must be at least 16 years plus, which most of us are just over that sort of age. They wear leather vest, some of the badges, but not all. They don't wear a cross. It's hoped that the most time they spend with us, they'll ask even more questions. They'll come to church with us. They pay the fees decided at the AGM. They attend all our activities. They can vote at the AGM, and they could be at that stage for about a year. Okay. Full member. That's you're a Christian. You attend church, preferably have a motorbike, and committed to what we do with an interesting bike. So if you've got a cross, that's our... So got to be 16 plus, but obviously going through the other stages, by the time you've done that, realistically, you would be 18 anyway. So you wear the full vest with the cross and pay the fees dictated by the AGM. If we know the individuals and we've known them for quite a while, then we can shorten their period of time. But you can't just have an individual come along and say, right, I want to join, here's my membership money, and they get a vest and off they go. And you'll see why as we go through this a little bit more. So the committee, we have a committee. Well, that's just another logo. We've got Paul, who you know, there he is. Yeah, we call him a lot of other names as well usually, but he's our secretary. We've got Tony, back there, he's our sergeant. Barry the treasurer, not here, he's got lots of health problems. And Kit, our vice president, and we also have road captains who organise runs. Kit, our vice president, he was coming this weekend. He got up to close a banging door, tripped over a bedside cabinet, and he said, I'm hoping to be with you, I've sprained my ankle. He's actually broken his tibia or fibia and bent the other one, and he's having an external cage put on. So unfortunately, some people do anything just not to listen to me speak. Well, there you go. Funding. Funding comes from memberships. We do a lot of recycling, so if we get donated any motorbikes or parts, we do them up and we pass them on and sell them to other people. We also get donations as well. So what do we actually do? What does it really look like? So currently we're helping a chap whose son died, and we're selling his son's bike and equipment, because obviously he wouldn't know what things are worth and things like that. We help members with their own emotional health needs, counselling. We're driving each other around to appointments, and we've helped each other out with different stuff. We have a very active WhatsApp group. Tiny doesn't want to be on that WhatsApp group because I don't know what he's going to put on it, but he thinks it's going to be sort of hacked by Putin or somebody. Is it too easy to be hacked up? Yeah, for sneaky beaky stuff. I think you've retired now, mate. You know, you'll be all right. So keeps up contact, especially during COVID. WhatsApp really was a good boon. We started a men in sheds type thing. We call it guys in garages, really. So we're mending more mechanical things, like doing up these motorbikes and maybe I'd donated and things. It's not an open door thing, unfortunately, because at the location we are, it's a barn in the middle of nowhere, and there's no security or anything, so we can't just have anybody come in. We would like to be fully open and have a place, ideally in Beverley, where we could be open to everybody. And then obviously knowing that we're Christians running it, hopefully that might be a little so people stepping through the threshold. But there's nowhere in Beverley at the moment. I've been inquiring and we couldn't afford the rents if we did, really. And encouraging our members and others to invite to join churches as well. So somebody could go to the local church. I quite often encourage people to come here with me on a Sunday if they've never been to a church before. So, mind you, that depends who's singing. More importantly, who's on percussion. So we recycle items, like I said, which is obviously good for the environment. We sell them on at rallies, and obviously the money raised goes towards our events. We do have overheads like rent, insurance, etc., and then we bless others. So we have stalls at our rallies as well. Yeah, right. So one of the big rallies we go to is at Helmsley, and they have a license for 10,000 people. So a bad year it could be 3,000 or 4,000. Average is 5,000 or 6,000. They have 6 stages with bars. The big top main stage holds about 2,000 people. That's just one of the stages. Now once, before I'd met Mary, she used to go walking, and she used to have portage, you know, where they take your cases to your next hotel so you can just, so she did that, and she went to Helmsley, and the guy said, it's a good job you weren't here last weekend. It was just full of bikers. We had thousands of bikers. And little did she know, she met me a few years later, and yeah, so I go to this Helmsley now with all these bikers. So we have an information stand, which is at the back there. That's the one we take with us. And when we had this stand, we found that there's a big row. You can imagine there's dozens and dozens of stalls at these events, all selling clothing, helmets, tons of stuff as food stalls. And there'd be a long row of big, massive long rows. And people would be walking along like that, and they'd be looking at the stalls, and then they'd see a big Christian cross up there, and they'd go. And then they'd start walking along the rows again. So it was a bit of a problem to actually get people to come even for a chat. So when we started selling motorbike stuff, it was great because people then came to look at the motorbike stuff we had, and while we're there, we chat to them, and then they can see that we're normal people. Although if you chat to us after, you realise that's not quite the case. But it brings them in, and it makes them easy to ask questions, because a lot of this is peer pressure. And it's like the Bibles, which we have, are very small. And at one show, it was a big NEC show, motorbike show, and you have a group of bikers walking past and they see us, and one of them might just look a bit longer than the rest, and the others would be sort of, oh, come on. And we think, I bet he'll be back. And I think what they'll probably do is they're with the mates, and they'll say, I'll just nip to the loo, and they'll come back to our stall, and they'll say, can I have a Bible? And they go, yeah, and stick it in the pocket. And none of the mates are any wiser. So that's one of the nice little pocket Bibles that we have. So we're there to help people, some who overindulge in drink or drugs. That's quite a big percentage of the people there. And they can come over to us, and they know that we're safe. We can sit and talk to them. We give them a cup of tea and things, and we can have a chat to them. We're also a safe place for ladies especially, maybe get separated from the group. As soon as they see us with the cross on the back, they automatically think they're the people I need to go and speak to. Sometimes they have a domestic argument. Always the wife's fault, of course. But, you know, they're in the bar, shaking your head. I thought I'd have had more of a response from that, obviously not. So they've maybe had too much to drink, more than they would normally. They're in a tent. And it's amazing the type of group of people as well, because you're away for the weekend. There could be anybody there, really could. So they get separated, they come to us. And one girl requested that we take her back to a tent. So everybody's camping. And I said, where's your tent? And she went, drunkenly, there. And you look out on this field, and there's 5,000 people there, maybe 1 or 2 to a tent. That's a lot of tents. And I said, but what is your tent? You know, she said, it's a green one. So that narrowed it down to 2,000, yeah, probably, about 2,000. And then she said, it's next to a red motorbike, so that narrowed it down a little bit more. Yeah. So we tend, usually somebody comes and collects them eventually. And also if somebody's, we've had somebody break a leg, for example, trip up, and we look after them till the ambulance comes. Might take quite a while. We had one chap come up. He bought something off the stall one year, off he went. And the following year he came up and he's hanging about. And now he comes up every year. He comes and asks for me and wants a chat. So this time I took him to a side And I said, you're always coming over to see us. Can we have a chat about things? And he said, I would really like to go to church. So I said, well, and? He said, I drink 8 to 10 pints of Guinness a night, and I swear like a trooper. And I said, and? He says, well, when I stop doing that, he said, I can go to church. So I said, you've got this completely the wrong way around. I said, that's not how it happens. I said, you need to come to church as you are, and you may find that you don't need to drink so much Guinness on a night time. I said, well, those decisions will be for you to make. Well, unfortunately, he's not local, but he always comes every year, so he's an ongoing project. So we do sow a lot of seeds. Unfortunately, the rally goers are from all over the country and abroad. It's the rallies we have in this area are the biggest in the country, really, for biking. And so when we get people coming, we do sow the seeds, but we may never see them come into fruition. We don't know, and that's all we can do. So a young biker came over to us, asked us what we did. He'd not seen us before, and he said, that's fantastic. He said, I'm a recovering addict. He said, you've really made me weekend knowing there's somebody to come and talk to. We also attend Backpatch, Hells Angels type events. So that's, I could talk to you about that for about 3 hours and you probably still won't understand it. But the Hells Angels, the Warlocks, Satan's Slaves, all have good names. We go to their events and they have stalls as well. And the majority of their stalls are actually knives and axes, funnily enough. And there was about 8, maybe more of about 10 or 12 of us. We met at, this was going to the Warlocks in Scunthorpe. And we met at Tesco's and the cafe, and I got them all together. And there's various protocols you do and don't do with backpatch clubs, very serious. And so I was going through it with everyone and saying, right, well, don't do this, don't shake somebody's hand unless they offer a hand to you. Don't touch somebody on the colours they're called on the back. Very disrespectful. Don't call anybody brother. So I'm going through it all. And one of the guys was like, in fact, it's Vic who occasionally comes to our church as well. And he said, I don't think we should really go. I said, anyway, he did. And Paul was first one in on his trike, which he had then. And he got there, and their president, I mean, top man of there, first thing he did was he said to Paul, morning, mate, how are you doing? And shook his hand. And then he directed Paul off, and he went off. And he directed the rest of us somewhere else. And we thought, oh, what's going on here then? What they're doing with Paul? Mind you, I think Tony was on the back, so he was probably reasonably safe. And they'd taken Paul straight off into the bike show, into the trike show. I haven't got a picture of Paul's trike, but I have on the back. And it's made of plywood and bits bolted to it. It looks a bit like an army trike. It's a lovely looking thing, if it's your thing. I'm getting looks from Paul now. And at the show, there was gold wing trikes, which is one of those out there, which is Joe's trike, which are very expensive. There are Harley trikes. There's a Harley out there as well, which are even more expensive. There's one which was up for, was it 30 grand, that trike, which was 30 grand, completely handmade with a V8 engine. So they're all laid up there, and there's a show going on, and we were going to get off. And then at the end, they said, don't go yet, because you've won an award. And Paul Strike had won an award. Now, I don't know who was more surprised, us, Paul, but the guy with the 30 grand trike, he was very surprised, I can assure you. So that's the sort of thing we do and wander around there. And I think just showing our crosses, and that's why it says president on it. I could be just chairman or something, but we've got to be in their world as well. They've got to understand who we are, and that's why we wear the things. So as soon as we go to a rally for that group of people, they understand straight away who we are. So, yeah. So we do biker escorts. So we're riding in some biker who's died. We drive in front of the hearse and things. We've done that quite a few times. We've conducted blessings at rallies and run services. We even went to Blue Angels in Scotland. Blue Angels are a backpatch group. The Hells Angels went up there to sort them out. The Hells Angels went up with some knives and chains and everything. The Blue Angels had shotguns and rifles and pistols, so they turned around and came back again. So there's still no Hells Angels in Scotland, just Blue Angels. Yeah, I went to a funeral up there. There was thousands of bikers from all over Europe. We offer advice on biking and equipment, especially to young riders or born-again bikers. We visit different churches to speak. That's us. There we are. That's at a church in Hull. There I am. Was that Tony by any chance? Yeah. We helped a lad who had his bike stolen and giving donations for a replacement. Helped a grandfather with parts for his grandson's mini motor bike. We have Bibles printed with our own logos on, some of them at the back. We give away about 200 Bibles a year. That's it. We send comfort packs to Ukraine for the troops on the front line, and that has our logo on it, also in Ukrainian as well. And it's a little chocolate bar and toothbrush and things like that. So we've already sent 50 last year, and we're actually hoping to send another 100 this year. So we're looking to contact for that. So we had that logo on, and then of course we had some quotes in Ukrainian, which is that one there. So, any questions? Are we all right for a minute? Yeah. Any questions for me? I can wait till the end. I know you're all probably wanting to eat, and Tony's got a few minutes to say. Do you want to be coming up, Tony? You're going to stand there? Okay. He's too shy. Yeah. So I apologise in advance because I don't know what Tony's going to say. So. Do you want the microphone, Tony?